Okay, good afternoon all. Can you hear me all? Is this PDF is visible?
Sir,
Is this PDF is visible?
yes, sir, the PDF is visible.
Okay, okay, let's start. So, before starting today's topic, you can see that I have given you already that two parts. The first part is 8255 part 1 and the second part is 8255 part 2. So, 8255 is the topic and it is divided into two parts. Okay, so today we try to complete these two parts. So before starting this topic, you can see that from this note what I have mentioned here, so that you can uh, be very clear about this thing, that, that the marks associated with your assignment and attendance and MTA are like this. For assignment, you have to score up to 10, for attendance 10 marks, MTA 20 marks, and for your semester 60 marks. Okay. So from the I have already given you the first assignment. So I think many of you have already submitted it. So it's long before. But when I am checking the assignment, what I have found that some of the students have written that assignment in his own writing. Okay, they are good. But some of the students who also take my permission to write it down in Microsoft Word, I give them permission for that. But what they have done, they have copied from some internet and just paste it. Okay, so I don't know, but I'm not giving their names or ID, but I have found these things. So this is not a very good practice. Okay, so that is the first assignment. Okay, that is the for first assignment, and I will give you a second assignment. Okay, so after completing a little bit more about our syllabus. Okay, so that will be your last assignment. So in this semester, you will get two assignment for this subject 8085 microprocessor microcontroller. Okay, and from the first assignment, you have faced the question related to 8085, and this next assignment, I will try to cover my syllabus. Okay, maybe up to next week of May. Okay, after 10 or 12th May, I will give you a assignment. Okay, so you have to complete that assignment. I hope that this time you all complete the assignment in a proper way, because last time what I have found, because I have already told you to send me that copy via email, so you have already submitted this. So, but I found some discrepancies there. I found that some of you have just copied it from internet and pasted it, and their formation also not good. So that's why I'm just giving this just a small talk about this assignment. So for the next assignment, I suggest that you will do your best, because last if I divide the marks for the last assignment, that was up for the 5 marks, and for the next assignment will be for 5 marks. Okay. So this is for assignment part, and for your attendance, so I have already taken the attendance, so be serious about your attendance also whenever you are taking these online classes sessions. Okay, so try to come or attend the session within that stipulated time, because sometimes what I have found that many of your students are joining this session after a delayed period. Okay, so I'm I'm giving them permission to attend my session, but they are marked in my copies. So that's why for the attendance part also I am suggesting you that be little serious about this part. So next is MTA. So I don't if for the MTA I don't have any information right now. For your MTA, it will be decided by the higher authority of the college. They need to notify to you all. Okay, so maybe they are end of this month, maybe, or sometime after some time there will be a MTA also. So be prepared for this, because in a regular process you have your MTA in the month of, in which month, in the month of April, right? So in the month of April you have your MTA exam. So as there is no MTA exam in the month of April, so don't means MTA is actually the starting preparation of for your exam. Okay, so once the MTA is done, you know that what is your condition for the each and every subject of this semester. So as there is no MTAs happened for this semester, so don't be relaxed. Okay, so means just keep on trying, make yourself updated all the informations regarding the subjects. Okay, so that complete your assignments in time, attend the sessions, so that you can get your attendance full marks, assignment full marks. So this is to a very overall the back performance is very good. Not only in my this online session, also in the online lab session I have found very many of your students are joining, so that is very good. Okay, so that's just, you are doing very good, make it your best. So today we are going to the topic that is your 8255. Okay, so this is just a continuation of our previous topic. So in our previous topic we have completed 8085 interrupt process. So 8085 interrupt process is a process where some external devices connecting with the 8085. Okay, so some external devices communicating or connecting with 8085. Now, while this communication is going on, the process that is happened internally in 8085, that is interrupt handling process. Okay, but the communicator, the other device, that external device, okay, that device has to send some data or receive some data from the 8085. Okay, now there are two important parameters are there. The important parameters are like this: the microprocessor has its own speed of operation. On the other hand, that external device has its own speed of operation. So maybe both of these devices has the same speed of operation. So then what will happen when they are communicating? They will be synchronized. Okay, but normally in practically what happened? These two devices often found that are different in its speed, right? Because what happened that the microprocessor are are costly. Okay, because it has to do different kind of work, so it has a higher speed. Okay, it has different components, so that makes microprocessor costly. But the external device that have a single purpose of work, okay, so there is no reason to make it higher cost, make it costly. So for that reason, normally that external devices are having a lower speed with respect to microprocessor. So you just imagine that two devices are communicating with each other having different speed. That means the slower device asking the faster device that to give some data. Okay, when faster device giving a data with higher speed, so slower device cannot receive it properly. That means what happened? Error will happen. Error. The received data will not be the original data that is sent out from your 8085 microprocessor. So the point is that whenever there is a speed or time constraint between the sender and the receiver, then the data will be corrupted or erroneous. So to avoid this situation, what we have some intermediate device. So so we have this 8255 intermediate device. So if I just draw block of 8255, so 8255 is actually a chip. Okay, then what I can see that it has different ports. So different ports means it has different places to connect other device. Okay, so this intermediate device just is used just to synchronize the sender and the receiver for this synchronization purpose, so that there is no error in data handling process. Okay, so you can see the introduction part. It is written that your 8255 is a widely used programmable parallel output device. Okay, that means it supports three things. It is a programmable, that means you can program it, means it is not a fixed device. So you can sometime you can use the port A or you can use port B. You can program it according your connection, and it is a parallel input output device. That means it supports a parallel data communication, not a serial data. So this is what it is capable of. Okay, so it can be programmed to transfer data under the various conditions, and this general purpose input output device that can be used within almost any microprocessor. It can be used within almost any microprocessor. So general questions that is arise from this device, that 8255 can have different kind of boots. So in 8085, what is the word length? 8 bit. Okay, so it has 8255 also supports 8-bit word length. Okay, so that means if we want to communicate with 8255, we have to provide a 8-bit length data. Okay, so that's why microprocessor is synchronized with can be synchronized with the 8255 because both have same word length. Okay, so here you can see that I have taken a what 8-bit word length data. So suppose your data is D7 to D0. From this data, okay, so this from this data, this is the first data. So this data has a specific purpose. So this data is known as control word. So what I have spoken, I first keyword that I have used is your word length, that is 8-bit. Then I have taken a particular word. Okay, this combination has its own specific purpose. That's why it is called control word. Now I am just control word has a 8-bit. Each and every bit has its own significance. So the D7 bit has the most important significance because D7 bit decides in which mode it can be operated. So you can see that D7 bit can be 0 or 1. So in case it is 0, then it is just single BSR mode. Okay, so BSR is there is a full form bit set or reset mode. Okay, and this BSR mode is applicable for only port C. Okay, so this BSR mode is applicable for port C. Whereas you can see that when D7 bit is 1, so it is called input output mode. So What is input output mode? So input output mode is actually mode 0, mode 1 or mode. So input output mode for mode 0 is it is a simple input output for port ABC. That means when D7 is 1 and I am working in a mode 0 operation, then I can simply input or output data from or to 8255 through these three ports. Okay, so I can simply communicate with the external device through 8255 fro- from using these three ports directly when I am working in mode 0. So what I am right now, I am a microprocessor and I can see that there is a 8255. I can see that there is an external device. So I have to communicate external device through 8255 and I am working in a mode 0. That means I can use the three ports of 8255 as a input or output device. Now, if I move to the next mode, then mode 1, then what is that mode? That mode is your handset input output for port A and port B. Here you can find that a keyword handshake. So handshake is what normally handshake in technical means in microprocessor in data communication part. Handshake is actually a process. It is a process by which we can assure that there is no loss of data. And handshake means when two devices are try to communicate with each other, then your first device need to send means the sender need to send a signal to the receiver that that sender wants to send some data. Okay, just for before sending a data, it has to send a signal to receiver. Once the receiver receives that signal, if the receiver can be busy with its own work, so it just completes its own work, then sends back a signal to the sender. So saying that yes, now you can send the data. So this process, the beginning process before sending any important data, okay, the exchange of information between the sender and the receiver before exchanging the important data is called handshake. So for this handshaking operation, that 8255 must work in the mode 1 where the port A and B can be used as a input output port and port C are used as for handshaking. That means through port C you can get data from microprocessor or you can send data to the microprocessor. Okay, and through port A or B you have to send your important data. So this is the mode 1 significance. Now if I work in a mode 2, then I can see that this mode 2 is a bidirectional data bus for port A, port B either in mode 0 or 1, either in mode 0 or 1, port C is the bits are used for handshaking purpose. That means in mode 2 we are giving more options to sender as well as receiver. We are giving more options to the sender as well as receiver. How? How that to answer this question? How it is? Here you can see that port B can be worked as between two modes, handshaking modes or simple input output. So that means a sender or receiver that using port B can be operated between these two modes, and your port A is operating as a bidirectional port. That means using only one port I can send the data or receive the data. So that's why it is bidirectional. But port B is not a bidirectional, but it can work in this between these two modes. It can be simple input output mode or handshaking mode. Now if port B is a handshaking mode, then your port C will be used for handshaking mode. Because you have to have some signals, some pins available for before sending the data in case of you are using handshaking data communication process. So this is all the modes possible by using 8255 programmable peripheral device. Okay, so you can see The topic name is programmable peripheral device. That means we can program the peripheral device, okay, so that it can be operated in different mode of communication. Okay, so this is the all possible mode for the communication. That means also it means that whenever there is an external device trying to communicate with 8085, it can be communicated directly if they are both speed are same. But if their speed mismatched, then it has to take help of 8255. When it is taking the help of 8255, it has to go for any of this mode. So the mode description I have given. Now you can see that next part. The function of these ports are defined by writing a control word. So control word is a keyword that I have used here. It is not a word length normal. It is a specific word that can be used to set the control of this 8255 operation. So that control word in the control register I have to load it. Okay, so control, as it is programmable, that means I can write my control word according my wish, and I can instruct it to 55 to work in that mode. Now you can see that the size of control word is 8 bit. Okay, that's good. 8255 two operation mode is possible in 8255. Okay, I have already spoken to you. That is bit set reset. It is used to set or reset bits in port C or input output mode. So it has a three types of mode I have already discussed. Okay, so that is mode 0. All ports functions as the input port or output port, IO port. That means mode 1 handshake mode, where port A and or B. Okay, so use bits for port C as a handshake signals. This data transfer in this The data transfer in this mode can be done by two process: status check and interrupt. So this is not too much you need to know, but this is the how that handshaking is handshake can be completed. Handshaking process also further divided into two parts: that is interrupt process and status check process. So we'll discuss it later. Next, mode 2. So in the mode you can find that port A can be used as can be set up for a bidirectional data transfer using handshake signals from port C, and port B can be used either mode 0 or mode. So this is the thing about the modes of 825. Now, other as you can see that it can be directly connected with it, many of the microprocessor. So it has very general purpose pin. Okay, so basically it has a three ports. So each port having a 8-bit length. So 24 pins are there. It it has a pin RD bar, WR bar that can be used for read or write operation. Okay, it has a pin chip select, so that we can select it to 55 whenever it is necessary. It has a pin reset to reset input. It has a pin supply ground, that is very common. It has a pin for A0 A1, that is port address. That means it has a three ports at a time. You can use any of these. So that port address you have to provide. So for giving the port address, it has a two pins, and it has a data bus, bidirectional data bus. So that means what it has: 8255 chip internally. It has a three ports having 8-bit length. That means 24 pins. It has supply ground. It has reset chip select part. It has read write signal pins. It has a data bus that is bidirectional. Now, apart from these all parts, it has as it has a three ports, so there should be some pins by which pins we can decide which port I have to work with. So that's why it has a two pins allocated for the port address for these three ports. So this is the important pins or all the pins of this 8255. Okay. Now, if I draw the block diagram of 8255, what I can see, I can see that there are one, two, three, four. Four blocks are there. Why four blocks? Because it has three ports. Okay, but port among that three ports. Okay, you can see that I have divided this thing and written this in this box that group A, port A 8 bit. So group A block is port A. Group A, port C 4 bit. Okay. Group B, port C 4 bit. Group B, port B 8 bit. So it has actually three ports, but the port C, you can see from this simple block diagram, port C is divided into two parts, and it is written that can be used individual bits. That means what I have said here, that it supports parallel IO device communication. That means parallelly 8 bit can be loaded. Okay, but whether it can support serial bit communication? Yes. How? Through the port C, where individual bits can be set or reset. Okay, so that's why port C is divided into two parts. Okay, and these two parts are known as CU and CL, means C upper and C low, 4 and 4 bits. So that 4.4 bits you can see here. So basically these four blocks are the outside block of this 8255G, from where data communications are done. All data communications are done. Okay, so so in this you can see that right side, the outer side, right side is the outer side world. So from this ports data are going, data can come, and left side is the inner side of the 8255. So in the inner side of the 8255 data can goes and come. So that's why this bidirectional data bus, and where these all ports are connected was or system bus. So this is an internal system bus, simple. And this internal system bus is, after getting the data from the port where it is feeding the data, it is feeding the data group A control. That is a block. Group B control. That means whenever you are getting data from port B or port C lower, you are feeding the data to group B control. Otherwise, port A, port C upper, you are feeding to the data into group A control. That means from the outside world, you are taking the data from the inner, and then you put it to the system internal bus, and it will be to these two blocks according where you are getting the data. Then what will happen? So this data, these blocks also connected with these two blocks. Okay. So what is this block? This is your data bus buffer. So data bus buffer. So it is the 8-bit length. So it is connected with this internal bus, and in the left side of this data bus buffer is the device, that is the uh, device that want to communicate with microprocessor. Okay, so you can see here, here is your external device, and this is your 855, and this side is your 8085 microprocessor. Okay, so you are getting a data from microprocessor, you're feeding that data into this bus. From that chip, the data from this data bus buffer going to this external device, or from two-way communication. So from external device, data can be received from this buffer. Then when 8085 is ready, it can be fed to this port, to this 8085 processor. Now, so this is done. And one block that is very important here, that is what kind of operations you are doing. Okay, what kind of operations you are doing, right? So whether you are doing read operation, whether you are doing write operation, which port you are using, A1 A0 will decide. And if you want to reset, then reset pin also there. And before all this thing, you have to select your chip 8255. You have to enable the 8255. So chip select pin also there. So actually this thing, what I have said to you, that sender need to send a data signal to the microprocessor, or then only communication can be started. Okay. So because microprocessor does not want to communicate with external device, then microprocessor will be the sender. Okay. So as the sender means it wants to communicate with microprocessor, so it has to send some signal, and it cannot directly send the signal to 8085. So it has to select this 825 chip through the chip select program. And once it selects the 8255 chip, it can communicate with 8085 microprocessor, take the data or read the data or write the data according the signal the external device decide, and which port also decided by this external device from these two pins. And according to that, all operation internal operation. So you can see that there is not huge kind of internal operations going on in this 8255 chip. Basically it is taking the data from one side and giving it to the other side through a particular port. Okay. And it can be worked in read or write mode according to the needs of these communicating devices. Okay, so it is read or write, but no data is available. There's no memory is associated with the 8255. So you can see that this read or write means you have to read something from memory or write something to the memory. That memory part is always connected with microprocessor. So basically, external device giving a signal to the microprocessor that it has to read some data from the memory, then it will enable RD bar signal. Or if external device wants to write something in the memory locations through the microprocessor, then it will enable the WR bar signal. So basically this is the block diagram. Okay. So you can see that this block controls this two group A control or group B control block. That means this block decide which port you are communicating. Suppose you are communicating through port A and port C upper. Then it will enable this block. It will enable this ports, or it will enable this block. This will enable these two ports. Okay. So that's why I have shown you by the dotted line and this line that it is controlling this two. Okay. Now, so this figure is nothing but the representation of last figure. Okay, so you can see that, just this is for just your information. You can see that how the things are happening internally. This A1 A0 will decide which port you are communicating. A, if it is 00, port A, port B, or port C. Okay. And chip select will enable this block. So chip select, after enabling, it will check A1 A0 status and connect it with this port. But for the combination of A1 to A0, when 1 it will refer to the control register. That means your control word. Okay, that means you have to write your control word first whenever you are trying to communicate with 8085 through 855. So here you have to write your control word, okay, so that 855 can work in that mode. Okay. So that means before starting our communication, that external device will write the control register through this A1 A0. Through these two pins it can select any of these ports, as well as it can select this control. Okay, so first it will write the control word, then that control word will decide. Control word is decided at this part, So that will decide whether group B control or group A control is involved in this communication or not. So from that, we will start the communication. Okay. So you can see that port A, port B, and port C. Three ports are connected. Three ports are connected. So control word is connected with the three ports. It will decide which port when it will enable or disable. Okay. So each for each port you can see that enable pin is there. Now you can see that this is port B. So what is the combination for port B? 01. So control word actually send that combination when it has to enable this port. So this is the A1 A0 combination. It will be decided from that external device. Okay. So external device will send the data A1 A0. At first it will send which data? It will send 11 data so that it can write the data properly into the control register. Then it will send which data? Suppose it is sending 00 or 01. So whenever whatever it is sending to the program, control word already known that it will try to communicate through which port. Okay, so whenever you are setting that control word, that means if I go in upper part, you can see that for control word knows that which mode of operation is going to be happening. So which port it will use, that will be decided through this control register through the control word. So once it is decided, then we can understand that communication can be started. So, so for proper communication, which signals I have to, that means external devices have to use. So it has to use this communication, these signals: RD bar, WR bar, that means read, write, reset, and CS bar, A1 A0. Okay. So what is RD bar? So this control signal enables the read operation when signal is low, that is active low. MPU reads data from the selected input IO port of the 825. Okay. So when this RD bar will decide which operation it will do, read operation, and from where the port data is available, at which port of that port it will microprocessor will read the data. Sorry. Next is WR word, that is the write word, write signal. The control signal enables the write operation. One signal goes low, write operation. The microprocessor writes into the selected input output port or the control register. Okay. So write operation, by writing this for writing purpose, writing to selected input output port or the control register. So input output port having a pin, simple a pin. So it has pin associated with some register. So each input output port has some registered register. So where microprocessor write the data. A register, you can see that registers are volatile. After writing, after all operations completed, the data will be lost. So reset pin will be used. It is used. It clears the control register content and sets all the ports as input mode. So when you press the reset, it will clear the content of the control register. Means once the one kind of communication process is completed, but before going to the next communication process, the program, so the programmer who is writing the program has to use reset pin. Okay, so that it can clear the content of control register and all the ports are made as default mode, that is input. Now the combination we can give CS bar 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Then which operation or which port we can select, the combination I have shown. Whenever I am giving CS bar as 1, whatever I can give, the 8255 is not selected. So that is I have shown here. Okay. And what this figure I have shown. So a figure, you can see that this is chip select logic IO port address. Okay. That means if our address at you know that 8-bit address or 16-bit address bus you have already heard. In 8085 it has 16-bit address bus. So for this figure I have shown that for some devices who has 8-bit address bus. Okay, so using 8-bit address bus, how can I select this 8255? That means that external device has the 8-bit address bus. From this 8-bit address bus I have to select 8255. Okay, so if in that scenario what I have to use here, I have used that your A7 to A2. Okay, A2 and then A1 A0, A1 A0 for selecting the port. So I have left these two pins blank. Okay, but I have occupied all other pins. Okay, so in this is the figure I have drawn. So from this figure, if someone asked what is the port address of port A, port B, port C or control register, then I can answer it by analyzing this figure. How to analyze this figure? You can see that if A7 is directly connected to this gate, NAND gate, A6, A4, A4 to A2 or are connected through a not not gate. Okay, not a not gate. This is actually a buffer, but active low buffer. Okay, so this is not a NOT gate actually. This is a buffer, but active low buffer. That means whenever input is 0, this buffer will be activated. So this is directly connected. That means A7, when A7 is 1 and all the pins are 0, then only the output of this NAND gate will be 1, will be enabled. And this will, when it is enabled, then only this chip select will be enabled, and it will enable the 8255. Okay. So you can see that from this combination, if I put this combination here, so A7 is 1 and all the pins are 0 at this point, and when it is coming at the input side, all inputs are 1. So all inputs 1 means output is your 0. Okay, then 0 means as it is CS bar active low, it will be selected. Now for this configuration, if you change any pin value to 1, then what will happen, any pin value to 1 at this point, then what will happen, you will get a 0 here, and then all all 1 except 1 0, if you are 0, then you are, when you are in inverted output, getting an inverted output, you are getting a 1, right? Then your chip select will not be enabled. Okay, so this is the observation of this configuration. You can understand by observing or by putting the values. So which value I have to select? I have to select that combination, that value combination of the value that will enable the chip select pin, and I can select that combination as A7 is 1, all other pins are 0. By giving only this combination, this chip select pin will be enabled, and any other combination will not enable the chip select pin. You can use by yourself also. Okay, then if I do, if 0041 is 0 or 01 or 10 or 11, then I can choose accordingly port A, B, C or control register. So now for port A, the combination of 8 bits is like 1000 0000. That means 80H, 81H, 82H, 83H. That is the final answer of the question. The question that is asked that for this configuration, find out the port address of A, B, C and control register. Okay. So you can understand that how can you find it out from given configuration, the port address for this 8255 chip. Okay. So so next is that the first figure I have spoken with you that I have spoken that D7 is used to select any of these two modes. Now, what is the significance of other bits? So let's start from D0, or let's start from bits D2, D1, D0, because you can see that D2, D1, D0 is a combination for group B, and D6, D5, D4, D6, D5, D4, and D3 is a combination for group A. Okay. Now, for D2, D1, D0, 3 bits combination for group B. Here you can see that D2 is for mode selection. Okay. D1 for port B. If it is 1, then port B act as input mode, or 0, then it can be act as output mode. If for bit D0, port C low, okay, lower 4 bits. 1 for input mode, 0 for output. Now D2 for mode selection, 0 for mode 0, 1 for mode 1. Okay, so you can see that for when D7 is 1, there are 3 modes available: mode 0, mode 1, mode. So among them, mode selection 0 and 1, you can select by the pin D2 when you are working with the group B. When you are working with group A, in that case, you can select mode by using D6 and D5, and the combinations are 0001 1 and don't care. 00 mode 0, 01 mode 1, 1 don't care is mode 2. And D4 is input mode and output mode for port A, and D3 input mode or output mode for port C upper 4 bits. So you can see that using group B, we can use only two mode 0 or mode 1. So mode 0 is simple input output mode 1 is handshake. So mode 1 handshake means using B and C lower. And group A elements, we can use three modes. We can utilize three modes. Mode 0 simple input output. Mode 1 is your handshaking, and mode 2, that means where port A is used as a bidirectional mode. Okay, and in that case port C can be used as simple input output mode also. Okay, so this is the configuration of 8-bit combination. So we have already discussed the significance of bit D7, where we have discussed it can be used to decide in which mode the 8255 will work, whether BSR or IO mode. Further, IO mode can have three other modes, and for that three other modes we can use port A, B, C for different purpose. And for the how we are using port A, B, C for different purpose, that will give you a two group A and group B. And group B, you can see that it can be used for two modes, 0 and mode 1. Group A, it can be used for three mode 0, mode 1, mode. So this is the complete combination of control word. Okay, so next move to the first mode 0, that is your mode 0, that is a simple input output. Means your D7 is 1 and you are dealing with the simple input output. Let's take the very simple input output mode when D7 is 1 and your D6 D5 combination is 0 0. So what happened in this mode? In this mode, port A and B, simple input output, are used as two simple 8-bit input output ports, and port C as two 4 bits CU and CL. The input output features of mode 0 are as follows. So in this mode, port A, port B, port C, okay, all ports are used for simple input output, and port C also further divided CU and CL. Okay, and so what are the features of this mode? Features of mode 0 are output are latched, input are not latched, port do not have handshake or interrupt capability. So this is actually the features of the simple input output mode, because it doesn't support handshaking, interrupt capability, very obvious. Okay, and its input are not latched. Okay, and output are latched. Latched means latched means something that you have given to somewhere, but it is not collected from that point. Means suppose that slower device is sending some data, so it has sent the data. Okay, now 8255 just holding that data. Okay, but 8085 is not ready to take that data. So that means data is now currently latched at the output side. Okay, so outputs can be latched, but input are not latched. This is basically these features. Okay, so just to understand how these things are happening, this is this is a configuration just like the previous configuration. Okay, so you can see that in this configuration, the port A, port C, okay, and port B and port C lower and upper all are used for different purposes. Okay, so so what is the question? The question is interfacing 855, that chip, IO ports in mode 0. Okay, so in this case, what is happened here? I have used port A for connecting some external device. So here the external device is LED, LED light emitting diodes. Okay, that is connected with 5 volt DC supply with a resistor, and here you can see that port A. Before that there is a buffer. Okay, so this is connection for the LEDs. Port C upper also connected to this same similar configuration, and port B and port C lower are connected to the switch, dual input port switch. Okay, DIP switches. Okay, let's. So this is the configuration. Now what I want to do, I want to communicate through microprocessor with these external devices. So you can understand the real world problem. This is now external devices, and the left side of this chip there is a microprocessor, and you want to switch on or off these things. Now you can just imagine that microprocessor is operating at a high frequency, right? So in that frequency, if the switches are on and off, on and off, on and off, you cannot see at a time which switch is on, which switch is off. So this thing you can imagine that. So in that, so we have to use some intermediate 8255 device so that I can realize the communication properly. That means here in 8085, how many address lines are there? 16. So that means 16 address lines are used for addressing that port control registers. So in the previous example, I have shown for 8 line addressing modes, 8 lines addressing address bus, but here it is 16 line address bus. So you can see that 15, that means 6 A15 means 16th number bus is connected with CS bus link, and A1 A0 connected with A1 A0 pins. Okay, read bar is connected with memory read signal that is coming from 8085, memory write signal that is coming from 8085, reset out coming from 8085. Okay, So this is the connection done from the 8085 part, and this is the connection with the external devices, and this is the total configuration. So here in the start mark, I have written that it how which mode it can it is using. It is using memory map input output method. Okay, so that means it is there that it is not using IO map. So there are two kind of input output method in 8085: IO map or memory map. So right now you just need to know that it is a memory map process. Okay, so only memory related instruction are used. Okay, for input output, no IO based instruction. Okay, so only memory, as it is memory map input output method, so only memory related instruction will be used. This is the point that is given. From this configuration and using memory map input output device, you have to identify the port address of the figure, means port A, B, C is addresses. Identify the mode 0 control word. So what is the control word for the configuration to configure that mode 0 control to configure port A and port C upper as output port, okay, and port B and port C lower as input port. Okay, so let's discuss first 2 points today. Okay, and then you have to write a program to read the switches status. Okay, so status of the switch will be, you have to read the switch status, then display the reading from port B to port A and port CL at port U. Third part is like this: you have to read the status of the switches. That means switch, if the switch is closed, then status will be 1. If the switch is open, the status will be 0. So you have to, that data is available at these ports. Okay, so that data you have to read through read by microprocessor, and then after reading you have to show the result here. That means if for the port B0 is, means that switch is closed, that means B0 is 1. That means for that B0 is corresponding A0 should be on. Okay, so that you can see that status of B0 is reflecting at port A0. If port B7 is not switch on, it is off state, that means 0, corresponding to PB7. So PB7 then corresponding to PA7 will be at off state. Okay, so this is the third problem where you have to write the program so that you can read the status of these switches and reflect that result through these LEDs. Okay, so that is the third part. First part, you just have to figure out what is the port address. Okay, so I'm just coming at this part. That means from the configuration what I have seen that A15 pins is connected to some select pin. Okay, so A15 connected to select through inverter. That means if I give 1 here, I will get 0 here, that will select this chip. But if I give 0 here, that will not select the chip. That means A15 should be 1. So I have put A15 1. All other pins are is not there. So I have just given them 00000. Okay. Then what I have given 00 for port A, that is always fixed, 01 port B, 10 port C, 11 port control register. So from this figure, what I am getting, I am getting the port addresses. So 100000000000000, that is the 8000, 8001, 8002, and 8003. This is the answer of the first part. So you get the port address. This is a very simple example where you can see only one pin is connected for this chip select pin. Maybe there are 5 or 6 pins are connected select chip select in different configuration like this example. Okay, it can be there. Okay, so in that case you have to take the combination accordingly. So you get that point how you collect, how you can get the port address. Next is you have to set the control word. so that port A and port C upper act as the output and port B and port C lower act as the input. Okay, so that means what you have to do, you have to select this each bit combination. Okay, D7 is what input output mode 1, D6 D5 in which mode you have to work, you have to work mode 0 of D input output mode and mode 0, you have to work in mode 0 of mode of the input output mode, right? That means you have to select 00 here. Then D4 for port A, when it is 0 it is acting as output 00. Now D2, which mode you have to work with, mode 0, so that is 0. And these two bits, port B you want to work port B as the input port, so 1, port C as the input 1. So this is the bit combination. So from this I can see that bit combination for control register is 83, right? 10000011 83. 83 is the combination for the control word. Okay, so you get the control word, you get the port address. Now I'm just coming to the third part. So here what I have to do, so I have done the flowchart first so that you can understand. So what first thing I have to do, I have to insert the control register. Okay, so first find the required control word, so that I found it. Okay, then load the accumulator with the control word. Okay, then I have to load the accumulator with that control word. Okay, so first I have to find the control word. 83H is your control word. Then I have to move that data to accumulator. Then I have to write it to the control register. Okay, I have to write that thing in the control register, that so that control register will decide which group has to work in which mode. Then I have to read the status, because port B connected with the pins, so I have to read that pins and display the reading at port A. Then I have to read the port C content, marks the upper bits of the port C. Okay, so this is a little complicated, because when you are reading a port B or port C, you are reading a 8-bit combination. So when I am reading a port C, you can see that port C is connected in two devices. Upper is connected LED, lower is connected switch. So you have to read the lower 4 bits, right? So upper 4 bits you have to do what? Mask, make it 0. So mark that masking operation programming that we have learned in 8085, that will work here. So after reading that port C, marks the upper 4 bits, then rotate the content of the upper half. Okay, rotate the content of the upper and display at the port C upper. Okay, so once you marks the upper half, okay, so what do you have? You have C lower half. That C lower half you have transferred to upper half. So that is I have written. You after masking the upper half, you have to transfer the lower part, lower half of the port C into the upper half. Then you have to display that port C upper. Okay. So this is actually your flow chart, right? Right, and now I am writing the program. So first I have to move the data MVI 83H. Okay, then what I have to do, I have to write it to control register. And so what is the control register here? Control register address is 8003. So I have to write it to STA 8003. Then what I have to do, I have to read this content of port B. Port B is, what is the address of port B? Port B is address 8001. So so reading that data means LDA. Something is written in port B. Port B has some address. You have to read that data. So which instruction you use? Very simple. This thing very simple. You have to use LDA. So LDA, I have read that data. Then what I have to do? I have to write it to show it to port A. So STA. Then what I have to do? I have to read the data of port C, that is 8002 LDA. Okay, then what I have to do, I have to mask lower upper bit. That means lower bit will be same, upper bit will be multiplied by 00. So 0000 FFFF. So once I masked, I get the lower bit. Then what I have to do, I have to left rotate so that the lower part will come to the upper part. I have to take left rotation. So RLC, I have to use four time RLC instruction. Okay. So after four time RLC instruction, I get the content of lower part at the upper part. Okay. And then I can directly write it to STA using STA 8002. Okay. That means LDA is 8002, then STA 8002. What is the difference in between these two instructions? This difference the content of this accumulator, because in the line 6 I have used ANI 0F, means I am using masking. Then I have used RLC rotation, that means I am just shifting the lower part to the upper part, and then I writing to the port C, that means it will affect only C upper part. Okay, so that's the end of this program. So that is the end of this problem. You can understand that how we can. So if I make it a conclusion, then I from this first part we have learned that in how many modes are there in 8255, we have learned how what is the importance of control register, what are the important pins of 8255, what is the basic block diagram of 8255, what is the importance of this control register, how it is connected with group A group B control. We understand that from any given configuration how to uh, measure or collect the address of ports control registers. Next, next we analyze the each and every bit of the control word, their importances. Then we take the first simple input output mode and solve a problem, real life problem, where we can see that in 8085 is communicating with LED and switches through 8255. Okay, and it is reading the status of switches and showing it to the LEDs. And we have seen this operation is done through memory mapped input output method. And we also know that there is another input output method that is called IO mapped input output method, that will be covered in the next. So this is what we learned from this session. Okay, for DIP actually this is a switch. Okay, so let's. Okay, so DIP is a switch. Okay, so Miran, I understand that who fast exactly maybe then I left this second part. So today we'll just cover the first part. Okay, so you just go through today, tomorrow, then we'll again meet Tuesday, right? So next we will discuss the next part Tuesday, okay, 5th May. Maybe for today it is enough. Okay, so okay, just give your ID in the chat box, and if you have any question, just write it down in the chat box. Thank you.